You're always ready to help. You sense what others need, sometimes before they know it themselves. You can't say no. It's easier for you to do things yourself than to ask. And everyone says, how kind you are. How caring. How good. But why then are you so exhausted? Why is there emptiness inside instead of warmth? Why do you give and receive so little in return? What if your kindness isn't what it appears to be? Today, we talk about a mechanism that disguises itself as virtue, and the price you pay for it. In psychology, there's a concept called the fawn response. It's one of the ways the psyche reacts to threat. Everyone knows fight or flight. Fewer people talk about freeze. And almost no one talks about the fourth response. Fawn. When a child grows up in an environment where it isn't safe to be themselves, they adapt. If they can't run, if they can't fight back, if freezing isn't enough, one option remains. Become convenient. Read the adult's mood. Be quiet when needed. Have no needs of your own. Feel others better than you feel yourself. This isn't kindness. This is survival. And then the child grows up. The threat is gone. But the mechanism remains. You automatically sense what others want. You automatically adjust. You physically cannot say no. It catches in your throat, tightens in your chest. Not because you're so kind, but because once upon a time, your no was dangerous. Fawning isn't love. It's a transaction. Somewhere inside, a logic is running. If I'm good, they won't leave me. If I'm useful, they will love me. If I don't cause problems, I'll be safe. But this isn't love. It's a trade. And it doesn't work. Because you attract people who find your compliance convenient. Who get used to taking. Who don't even notice how much you give, because you give so quietly, as if it costs you nothing. And then you get angry. Quietly inside. Because anger isn't allowed. Good girls don't get angry. And that anger accumulates. It turns into exhaustion, into illness, into the feeling that you're living someone else's life. In mythology, there's an image that reflects this. Psyche was a girl who had to complete impossible tasks to earn love. She was sent again and again. Bring this. Fetch that. And she went. Because she believed. If I manage this, they will finally accept me. Many women live like Psyche, completing endless tasks. In relationships. At work. In family. Hoping that someday they'll finally be loved just as they are. But love that must be earned is not love. It's labor. How do you know if your kindness is a fawn response? You struggle to understand what you yourself want. You easily feel others, but your own desires are like fog. You feel responsible for other people's emotions. If someone nearby is in a bad mood, you assume it's somehow connected to you. You don't know how to receive. Compliments, help, gifts. All of it creates discomfort. Because the familiar role is to give, not to receive. You say yes when everything inside is screaming no. And then you hate yourself for it. People describe you as the most understanding, the most reliable, the one who never says no. And you're not sure that's a compliment. What can you do? First, see the mechanism. Don't blame yourself. Don't try to change overnight. Simply notice. This is not my nature. This is an adaptation. I learned this to survive. And I can learn something different. Second, start noticing your numbers. You don't have to say them out loud if that feels too frightening. But at least register them internally. Here, I wanted to refuse. Here, I felt uncomfortable. Here, I said yes, but felt no. Third, learn to tolerate other people's disappointment. This is the hardest part. When you start saying no, the people around you will be surprised. Some will be hurt, because they're used to a different version of you. But here's the question. If people only love you when you're convenient, is that love for you? Or love for the function you perform? Real kindness is when you give from fullness, not from fear. When you can say no and still choose yes. When you help not because you're afraid, but because you want to. As long as you give from fear, you will keep emptying. When you learn to give from choice, you will fill up again. You thought your responsiveness was a gift. Maybe it's time to see that it's a wound, disguised as a virtue. And maybe it's time to allow yourself to be inconvenient. If you want to understand yourself more deeply, subscribe. This is where we talk about the things people usually stay silent about. In the next video, we look at good girls, why they don't receive love, and what really lies behind the desire to always be right.